We are live.
Boom! I love it. Amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Level Up New Pathways for Youth. This is so exciting. Oh, look at Farah. Farah's
Oh
all pumped
yeah.
up. I know. You got the same background. You got a little squiggly things back there,
Oh yeah.
right? But you're wearing your recruiting coat. That's
Yeah,
good.
this
And
is my recruiting blazer.
oh,
This is
that's
what
right.
brings all the mentors to the
Oh,
yard.
I like it's out there. It's great. And we have Alan Plunkett. Alan Plunkett, how's your facial hair today?
Clean.
Oh, good. There's going to be hundreds of people watching this, so I'm
Level
glad
zero.
level zero. Oh my goodness, so much fun. My name is Dan Tyre, and I'm super excited to be here. This is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this all summer. Alan, my friend, are you ready?
I am ready, my friend. I am ready. And Dan Tyre, I cannot thank you enough. I mean, you are a draw, and people are here because your name is attached to this, and you are doing, like your tagline says, doing good things in the universe. And we appreciate you
Oh,
very much.
that's so nice. I should bring you on the road with me, for crying out loud. All right. So, listeners, how many people know my friend Alan Plunkett and all the good he's done in the universe for the last 30 years in Phoenix? Right? How do people on live stream talk with us, Alan? What do they have to do? Are they like typing stuff into the
They can
comments?
type
Or?
stuff in the comments. If they don't show up here, then we will see them. We have a crew looking at it, monitoring Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So any questions they ask, any comments they have, will come to us, and we will answer them
Wow.
here.
This is very well organized. There's all these like back office things that are going on and like ready to go. And so
Yeah,
let's make it interactive. Come on, let's
yeah,
go.
Dan,
Let's put your
we got a whole crew ready to
okay.
ready to get those questions over to
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I hope we get a lot.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's feed us questions. Let's make it interactive. No one wants to hear Dan Tyre drone on for 45 minutes. Some people may have come for the jokes, in which case they're going to be gravely disappointed. But we have a few, and we're here, right, to ensure that we step up for some very important people and some a very important organization, New Pathways for Youth. Phoenix, Arizona community organization. Is it true it's celebrating its 35th anniversary?
Yes, this is our 35th anniversary that we're celebrating this year. It's super exciting.
All right, so we're going to explain a little bit about New Pathways for Youth and our Project Raptor, which is designed to assist in recruiting mentors, which we desperately need. We're going to explain the mission, the vision, the background, results. We'll answer any questions that you have. The most important goal of the program is to address the backlog of slots for mentors to step up for children that have had adverse childhoods and
Yes.
affected by poverty and adversity. Because I've been associated with this organization for a while, but I did not understand the depth of the need that we had. So when Alan and Kelly and Farah explained it to me, I'm like, all right, I got to do something. We got to do something to step up for our community. So thank you, everyone, for coordinating this. And we're going to ask some questions in the first 10 minutes and some good dad jokes, and hopefully we'll be able to address that.
Well,
all right.
Do you want me to? How about I just start off by telling everybody a little bit about New Pathways for Youth? Does that sound good to everybody?
Sounds awesome.
Let's do it. All right. So again, y'all, my name is Farah Figner, and I'm the director of mentor recruitment and marketing for New Pathways. But I'm also a mentor. That's how I got involved with the program. I used to work at the Arizona Republic, and our publisher had sent out a message that was promoting New Pathways, saying that they were looking for mentors. So I went to an information session and I fell in love with everything that I heard. And that was really the moment that I started to see how I could have some impact and purpose in my community. So I started mentoring, and I'm excited to say that in September, I'm going to celebrate my 7-year match anniversary with my youth, and his name is Marcelino. Hi, David. Good to see you. Hi, Vanessa. Anyhow, so I ended up coming on board with New Pathways a couple of years ago. In this role, it's so exciting because I get to tell other adults about how they can make an impact in young people's lives. So let's get to it. What's New Pathways all about? Our mission is pretty simple. We're building a future where every young person can live their life with joy and purpose, and so that they can be confident in their abilities to decide their own path. And we make that possible by providing the supports, the stability, and the skills to the youth and also to their families so that they can flourish in the community. So what is, like, if we really break that down, what are we doing? First off, the kids that we work with, this is a really special population in our community. All the kids that we work with, they live below the poverty line. Dan, do you know do you know how to express that, like for a family of 4, what that poverty line is? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is. No, I don't know what it is, but
it's less than $24,000. So that's one way to think about like the income situation, the financial situation that our kids are in. So, so all of our kids, not only do they live in poverty, but they also have experienced 3 times the adversity of other teens. And what that means, the way that we measure adversity is by counting up how many major adverse experiences that they've been through. And so all of our kids have been through at least 3 experiences that might include abuse or neglect of every variety. And it could also include like family dysfunction. So a lot of our kids, you know, they deal with family members who have substance abuse issues. They have family members that are part of the legal justice system who might be incarcerated in this very moment. There may be mental health issues at home, and almost all of our kids are separated from at least one, if not both, of their parents. So kids who have experienced that kind of poverty and adversity, they're coming into their adult lives with a lot more barriers. And so our goal at New Pathways is to help remove those barriers and to give every kid a one-to-one relationship with a mentor who's going to help them to overcome those barriers, who's going to introduce them to new opportunities in life so that they can go out and seize the futures that they want and the futures that they deserve. So that is what we are all about. But the most important thing that we can provide, and this is supported by research, is to provide every kid with a relationship with a caring, stable, and nurturing adult. I mean, that's just those 3 things. And so that's why we're here, Dan. We match kids 4 times a year. And most of the time when we have these matching events, we don't have enough adults. That means that we have to tell kids who are expecting to come in and get matched, sorry, kid, we're going to have to wait till the next one because we don't have enough adults that have volunteered to match with every one of you. In fact, do you know how many people we have like on our wait list right now?
I know, 80. And that's why I got involved because Farrah, you told me that. I'm like, excuse me? You're like, there are 80 young adults and kids in Phoenix who need a responsible adult in their community to step up. I'm like, that's no fair because kids can't advocate for themselves. They can't like be an adult, right? And they were dealt a bad hand, so they just got to deal with it. By the way, Farrah, the chat pane is blowing up, right? David says good morning. Vanessa says good morning. Andrew says let's go. There's some questions there from Sarah and Passion and Amit. And that hopefully you can see. And so with that backlog, I have a responsibility. I live in Phoenix and a solid community member, right? And as part of that community, we want to make sure that everybody, first of all, knows about New Pathways for Youth, because you'll start crying as soon as you understand all the goodness that this organization has done for 35 years. Number 2, there are people that have raised their hand. They've committed, right? And we've got to use the sorting hat and match them appropriately. And number 3, we got to work out that backlog, which is the reason we're doing this live stream. If you know of anybody, right, who would be interested in the improvement of their community by stepping up for a person, there's no financial commitment. All you got to do is do the QR code And the only thing you're committing to is a 30-minute intake session. Is that right, Farrah? That's the level of commit we're asking for this program, right?
Yeah, exactly. So all that we're hoping that folks will do today is, if you're feeling inspired, if you are feeling a calling that you want to get more plugged in with your community, what we'd like you to do is scan this QR code that's going to stay up here in the corner, and you will sign up for a mentor introduction session. So we're going to do a special session directly after this LinkedIn Live at 12:15. And that one is going to be an abbreviated 30-minute session for mentor intro. If you can't make it at 12:15, there's some other ones that you can sign up for, and those will be our regular 1 hour long information sessions. So that's all we ask you to do, is just, feel that curiosity, lean in, and just attend an information session and see if it's for you or not.
There's two great things about the information sessions. Number one, you can find out if it's right for you. If not, you'll know a little bit more about New Pathways for Youth and the mentor program. So if somebody asks you, what is that? Right? Just like Farrah was saying, when she first found out about the organization, she was like, that sounds like something that I might want to get involved in. And the more you know, if you can spend a half an hour just learning about it, then you might have an uncle or a cousin, right? Or somebody that you know that would like to do something good, and a random act of kindness for somebody in the community. And it goes such a long way. You should check out New Pathways for You, which amazing organization, and will certainly help us work through that backlog. So
Absolutely.
Very, very good.
Hey, do you want to get to maybe one or two of these questions?
Yeah, go, Farrah. Do you want me to ask you, or can you see?
Yeah, ask me. Because I'm so into the conversation. Fire away.
Okay.
Oh, here's one on the screen. How do the youth get referred to New Pathways? Passion. Thank you for asking that question. First off, I want to give some serious woot woots and shout outs to our youth enrollment team, because they are the crew that really makes sure that we're putting this amazing opportunity for growth in front of our mentees. So a couple of ways that they find out about the program. First is word of mouth, right? So you've got kids that are already in this program, maybe caregivers of kids that are in this program, and they're seeing success, right? So they're telling the people in their communities, and the community members are asking them, what's up, man? Things are looking good for you or for the youth in your home. And so we've got a lot of brothers, sisters, like siblings, cousins, classmates, and neighbors that are in the program. But for the kids that don't have those kind of referrals, who might not be finding out about us from their family members or what have you, then that's where our youth enrollment team comes in. So they have special relationships with the high schools and the charter schools that are in some of the most high need areas in the Phoenix Valley area. And so we get a lot of referrals from counselors. But then Nina and Julian on our youth enrollment team, and Manny too, man, they go out and they, host little sessions for the kids and have games and all of that. And they're really there with open ears, listening to the youth and to understand, like, what are their hopes and dreams, what's in their way. And then they talk about, like, how we can help them if they join New Pathways for Youth. So that was a really good question. Oh, shoot.
No, they're all good questions. All these questions, right? We're not going to have any time for the jokes. Right? But we got to go to the questions first, except we've already had one sign up, right? So thank you for the person who came in and signed up. I know. We now need 20 more, right? I'll tell you what, I'll tell a joke for every sign up we have. Maybe that's a deterrent. I don't know. Wait a second. You should probably hear the jokes first.
Drum roll.
I know. Kelly's heard the jokes. Kelly's like, I'm not sure that's a good offer there, Dan.
We're going to see Kelly slink underneath
I know. She's heard all my material. She's like heard the 3 jokes that I tell for the last 12 years. Amazing. But thank you so much for the person who signed up. That's great. Now we need to do that 79 more times, because we can't stop. We cannot stop. There are 79 people, right, who are waiting, who've raised their hand. The one thing that, 2 things that I always tell people how to solve problems in the 21st century. Number 1, start with the goals and work backwards. And number 2, if you need help, you raise your hand. When you're a kid and you raise your hand, right? That's like raising 3 hands, right? That is, I need help, right? And this is what these young adults are doing. And so our responsibility as community members and people who have are trying to fix this is to help find the mentors, right? And there's got to be hundreds of people in Phoenix. The entrepreneurial community in Phoenix is known as the most generous entrepreneurial community in the universe, right? And Jonathan Carell and Brandon Davis and Mario Martinez and all of the great entrepreneurs, Jason Snyder Law, who started One Mission, all these great programs designed to help. Right now, for the next few weeks, we got to focus on the youth to figure this out. All right, so let's go to some of the other questions. The questions are amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What types of activities or goals are usually part of the mentoring relationship? Awesome question, David. So we look at goals in the short term and we look at goals in the long term. So one of the things that makes New Pathways special and different from other just mentoring type organizations is that we have tailored planning, annual case planning that we do for our mentees. It's not cookie cutter, but every one of our youth has a plan that focuses on building their relationships, focuses on getting them to their getting them through their educational and academic goals, and getting them into a place where they can build economic security in their lives through career development. So twice a year, we look at those big goals to see where we are. And then every month we have a workshop that we call our Power Up session. And this is where youth and their mentors get to plan some more short-term goals. So I can tell you that we have so many kids that have gotten their driver's license, gotten all of their stuff together to get their driver's license because they set that as a short-term goal, or they've improved relationships with a sibling, or maybe they've gotten a grade up. So those are the small goals that we're able to impact. And it's remarkable how with each one of those little goals that they hit, how much more confidence they have in what they can accomplish next. And the other thing that's great, and another reason why we make goals so central, is because if kids practice goal setting, they're going to be more likely to engage with that as they mature and then bring goal setting into their adult lives too. Yeah.
I think just to chime in for 1 second on that, Farrah, I think one of the really cool things that happens in those monthly sessions that we do, as somebody that's been mentoring for a while, the kiddos that are in these in the program just have such an immense amount of trust in each other that they are more willing to share their experiences, or more willing to come out of their shell and share things that you don't see teens typically sharing. So in one of the breakouts that we had a couple months ago, our team, basically 15 kiddos, I think in our area, maybe 12 kiddos in our area, we were focused on education. So a lot of the kids were saying, I need to get better at doing my homework when I say I'm going to do my homework, or I need to, stop playing video games, or I need to do my homework during study hall or whatever. One kid raised his hand and said, I need to be better at not cheating. And for somebody who's, 15, 16 years old to say, I need to be better at not cheating in front of others that are 15, 16 years old, plus adults, I mean, that's transformational stuff. That's huge impact, because all these kids at that point in time were like, I need to get better at not cheating too. Like, all of them were on board with that one kid who said it, because they knew that, this is like legit, and we're all talking about real stuff, and we're all talking about how to get better as humans and how to get better as, future contributors to society. And it just doesn't happen in organizations that I've witnessed anyway, outside of New Pathways for Youth. I've not seen that level of trust and accountability and honesty. And I'd love to get Carrie's take on that too. Being new to the organization, I'd love to get your thoughts on that, Carrie.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you kind of connect with the people, both the other mentors and the mentees that are in your cohort. So your cohort is the individuals, both kids and adults, that go through the weekend process, if you will, to match. And then you see them at the monthly power ups, and there's so much vulnerability and trust built during the weekend that you do have that comfort level, right, to admit I cheated, and I want to get better at not doing that. I meant he looks forward every time you go. It's like, well, where's that person? And can you text that mentor and ask if they're coming today? And so there's a connection through the mentors and the mentees.
Amazing. Let me just put in the call to action. Remember the reason we're here. We're trying to work off the backlog. We have a couple of people signed up, right? Just scan the QR code. The best. Yeah, everybody do that. Yeah. Push your fingers up there. Come on, Carrie. The other way. You're going the wrong way, Carrie. You got to do it. Yeah. There we go. All right. And up in that QR code, it'll take 30 minutes, right? We'll do intake sessions right out following this, but we're trying to get as many intake sessions for a couple of reasons. Number one, you may be a great mentor, and all of the great stuff that Alan is sharing, Kelly will share, Carrie is sharing, Farrah is sharing, is designed to support your heart, so that you can do good things in the universe, which many people want to do. They just don't know how. And this is the perfect opportunity just to learn about it, right? All you got to do is learn about it, because if it's not the right fit for you, you'll know somebody, your neighbor or somebody in your Boy Scout troop or somebody who is a cousin or something like that, that you can explain it to. The more you know about this great organization stepping up for children that have adverse childhood, the better for everybody involved. And then there's some great questions here, Farrah, about how youth and mentors are matched. If you go over to the other comments, like there are, Mariella just asked a great question. Why don't you take a few of those questions as well?
Yeah, sure. Would love to do that. Thank you for the question, Mariella. Are there specific requirements to becoming a mentor? There sure are. We're working with minors. So there's a couple of things. So first off, to be a mentor, you've got to be 23 years old or older. And part of the reason for that is because the kids that we're working with, all of the kids that are part of New Pathways, they come in between the ages of 17, and then we serve them through 21 into young adulthood. So you've got to have, so you got to be 23 years old or older. You do provide transportation for your youth. So you're also going to want to have an Arizona State driver's license. You've got to have proof of insurance. And then the only hard cost to becoming a mentor is that you've got to get a level 1 fingerprint clearance card through the state. And that IVP, that stands for Identity Verified Prints. So it's about $75 or $80 somewhere in that neighborhood. And so that's the only hard cost. And otherwise, it's just really important for our mentors, our incoming mentors, to plan on being committed to the program, right? The kids that we're working with, they've been through a lot. There's a lot of reasons why they might not have a lot of trust in adults, right? They're sitting on a mountain of broken promises, and a lot of those broken promises were made by adults. And so we do ask our mentors, like, to come in with the intention that you're going to stay committed to your mentee for a year. But like I said, I've been matched now for 7 years with Marcelino. I think, Alan, you've been matched with your mentee for several years, and same for you, Kelly. And like, so these relationships just keep growing. So those are some of the things that you might want to keep in mind. I did want to say real quick, because Carrie brought up the fact.
Hold on. We got another sign up, baby. Yeah. Do that thing, Kelly. Yeah, thanks, I know. Daniel. Go that way. There. I know. We're pointing the wrong way, but we're very excited, so we can't control ourselves, because that's the whole reason we're here. Yeah, we need more Carries. We need more Allens. And amazing. Hector's got it up on the screen here. Something worth emphasizing. Mentoring is fun and rewarding. And what would you say about that, Carrie? All right, Alan, you go.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I've been matched with my youth now for we're coming up on 7 years as well. February it'll be 7 years, and it is just it's really awesome. He's a part of our family. I'm definitely a part of his family, as my family is a part of his family. We hang out a lot. His family comes over. We do pool parties at my house. I was telling somebody the other day, actually, my son dragged it out of me. He's like, Dad, when you first met him, they were in a homeless shelter. It's him and his twin brother, their baby brother, and mom. They were in a homeless shelter in Central Phoenix, right off I-17 at Camelback. And that's how they learned about New Pathways for Youth, was through that homeless shelter experience. Mom found out about New Pathways for Youth there. And now they own a home. Him and his twin brother are in high school, doing really well in high school. I mean, it's amazing to watch the transformation. And I know that New Pathways for Youth is a huge part of, what his future looks like. It's relieved a lot of pressure from his mom in raising all of her kids, because his twin also has a mentor. And it's just been an incredible journey. And it is, to Hector's point, it is fun. It is rewarding. And you get as much out of it as the kiddos do.
Yeah, Alan, I want to chime in here, because one thing I want to make sure people understand is that as a mentor, your own life is going to be massively transformed. So yes, like, we are here for the kids, we are here for them. And at the same time that we are here for them, let me tell you, the transformation job gets done to you just as much as it gets done to them. And I will tell you from my experience, I have 3 teenagers of my own. So I thought I knew all about teenagers, and I have learned so much more about the teenage experience through the eyes of my mentee and through her lived experiences. And it's been the first time in my life, and this is embarrassing to admit, but it was the first time in my life that I got proximate to poverty. And because I got proximate to poverty, it has changed the way I think. It has changed the way I learn and I relate to people. I have a much larger heart. I have taken all of my learnings back to my own family. So my own teenage kids have learned a lot about this as well. So if you're thinking about becoming a mentor, like Hector said, it is a ton of fun. It is extremely rewarding, and your life as the adult is going to be as transformed as your kids. So I would just say to you, if you are thinking about it, if you're considering it, sign up for that intro session, learn more. Alan, Carrie, and I are all mentors. We can tell you about what it's like. It's not always amazing. It's definitely difficult. Teenagers are rough human beings to be around always. But it's really been a transformative experience. So I'm just here to shout it out and encourage y'all to sign up.
Amazing. Let's Passion asks a great question. Then we'll go to Carrie, because we want to hear about her relationship with her mentee as well. But the question is, what if I don't have experience with youth, teens, or young people? And I think that's very relevant, because a lot of people are like, I'm not a mom or a dad of a kid. What happens with those kind of things? Who wants to take that question?
Well, Dan, I'll tell you just real quick, from my cohort, which is the group of people that went through the weekend together, that was April of 2022. The majority of people, of the adults in my cohort, did not have kids. Or if they had kids, it was way back in long ago. And so the mentor profile is across the board, from people who are in their mid-20s all the way up through people who are in their late 60s and beyond. So do not feel like having kids is a requirement at all. You just need to have a big heart. And like Farah showed us the other requirements, like a driver's license, car, auto insurance, things like that. But you don't need to have experience with kids at all. You just need to have some curiosity and have some time and have the heart for it, really.
Yeah, one of our old board members did an amazing presentation. She said the biggest requirement is to show up. These kids have just been let down so many times by adults in their life. If you just show up, you're already winning for them.
Yes.
Carrie, what do you think? Carrie, you on mute?
Oh, no.
Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that I'll say is, I have a 23-year-old daughter. I was a troubled youth and carried a lot of the the ACEs or a lot of the things that the youth at New Pathways for Youth serves. And so I went into it with a really big empathy for the mission of New Pathways for Youth, but still there's fear of the unknown. You don't know what you don't know. And what I will say is New Pathways for Youth gives you the tools that you need to succeed as a mentor. That was one of the biggest things that surprised me, is that the amount of tools I now have in my toolbox, not only to provide the best experience for my mentee, but really just in my life, both with my own daughter, but within work and life, far expectations. New Pathways for Youth by far is the most fulfilling thing that I have done in my adult life. I love the program. I love what they do. And I think furthermore, I unbelievably am grateful for my relationship with my mentee. We've now been together for a year. This has been such a joy. While it's not always easy, as Kelly mentioned, it is so fulfilling and exciting to see, this young girl come from what most of us cannot fathom to a confident, goal-hitting, excited to see me, and really more patient and vulnerable human being. I literally look forward to our power-ups. I look forward to our weekly check-in phone calls. She has taught me a lot about life and myself. And I kid you not, if you are even remotely curious about becoming a mentor and what it can do, I highly, highly recommend you join. Just think about what you may learn in a 30-minute, conversation or learning session about New Pathways. There's so much opportunity for growth, not only for yourself, but impacting our community. And so I highly encourage anybody interested to look into it further.
Amazing. And if you have grandkids, if you're a little older, right, and you miss the grandkids because they're in New York or New Jersey, right? I think the reason they asked me to host this is I got a little gray hair, right? This is a perfect, you told me, Farrah, when we were recruiting, don't laugh, Alan, you don't have any hair, right? But like, if you're in that stage of your life where like you miss that energy that Carrie is talking about, that Kelly is talking about, right? You have all this wisdom, right? Don't be sitting there drinking beer and watching ESPN. What you got to do is you got to lean into your community. Exactly like that. We have to push that button, get that QR code. That's what we want. We've had a handful of signups today, but not enough. We got 80 kids who've raised their hands saying, please, can our community help? Right? And Carrie did. Thank you very much. Alan did. Thank you very much. Kelly did. Thank you very much. Farrah did. Thank you very much. Amazing. Now we have to repeat that. And, there was a question, Farrah, that probably you could answer. If I travel too much, or I still want to support the organization, but I can't be a mentor, what are my other options?
Sure. So first off, if you travel 100% of the time, probably not the best fit, but this is a very flexible program that can fit most schedules, even if you do travel. But I know that there are some people that are on our LinkedIn Live today that don't live in Phoenix. And so you might not be able to be a mentor, or maybe you just have too much, you don't have the capacity, and you're wondering, how can I help? How can I be part of the solution? So you see my picture here with Marcelino, and right under that, I think I'm pointing at it here. Yep, this is the QR code that you can scan to make a donation. This is going to take you to our Ways to Give page. And from here, you can make a one-time donation, as big or as small, whatever is comfortable for you. And what I highly recommend also is making that a monthly donation, just a small bit, once a month. It allows us to it allows us to have the tools and to have the staff in place so that we can provide excellent support. And I want to go back to something that Carrie was saying a minute ago. She was talking about how New Pathways provides excellent support for the mentors. That was one of the things that attracted me. And it's one of the reasons why after 7 years, I'm still a mentor. So we provide plenty of training on the front end before you ever get matched, but we also continuously provide support. And that's through a position, a very important position here at New Pathways, which is called the program coordinator position. And I know we've got some program coordinators that are listening today. So I just want to say thank you guys for all that you do. But your program coordinator is the person that you can reach out to anytime if you have a question, if you need some advice, or if you just have some feelings that you need to process. Because like Kelly said, mentoring is amazing, but there's some times that it's just like, oh, and I need to talk about, how I might feel sad or disappointed about something that might be happening. And my program coordinator is the person that I can turn to, who's going to listen to me, but then also help me make sense of my feelings. And it's through that kind of coaching, I've become a better coach. And with each one of those interactions with my program coordinator, getting that kind of support, I just become a better mentor to this guy, Marcelino. So thank you for bringing that up, Carrie. That's a really important piece that makes New Pathways distinct from other mentoring programs. Oh, Dan, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. We've had a couple of signups, but we need more people to scan that QR code, right? Or send it to somebody you know, or anybody who's saying, you know what, I want to make an impact. People are always saying, what can I do to help our community? This is what you can do. This is a very specific ask. We want you to take a 30-minute intake call, either right after this live stream or sometime in the next few weeks, right? Also, if people want to donate money to continue the program, what do they do, Farah?
Yeah, so we had the QR code up just a minute ago, but if you see down at the bottom, we have the, what do you call this? The little
Scroll.
Thank you. Getting old, losing my words. So you can either go to the donate section on our website, or if you, this is all backwards. So, or you can scan this QR code right here to make that donation. But amazing. Definitely go to our website. You can find out so much about our program, but also it's real easy to make a financial contribution.
Amazing. All right. What we're really here for is to try to work through the mentor shortfall that we have, right? It looks like we've had a couple of people step up, but we want to make sure that everybody knows about the need that we have. Everybody takes the step, if you can, to just learn a little bit more for 30 minutes. And then if it's a right fit for you, the New Pathways for Youth folks will take you through and give you lots of support.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you've got the time right after this, we're going to start at 12:15. So 12:15 Phoenix time. Hopefully some of you guys will scan the QR code and join me, and I'll be doing this mentor intro. Ooh, Sarah's got a good question. After attending this information session here, what's next? Well, I can tell you. The next thing that you're going to do is go through our screening and onboarding process. And so you will sign up to interview with our mentor recruitment coordinator, Lana. And this is a 1-hour interview that we do it's a 90-minute interview that we do over Zoom, but there's a lot of storytelling, so sometimes they can run kind of long. But Carrie, you're probably the one who has interviewed most recently. What was your experience like in the screening and onboarding process?
Ooh, good question. So it was a year ago, and sometimes it's hard to remember what I did yesterday. But what I'll say is that it was extremely easy. I think my biggest fear going into it was like time. I'm the CEO of an organization. I'm a single mama. And I was like, am I going to have the time commitment for this program? And I can honestly say, yes. It sounds like a lot and maybe overwhelming when you're going through it and you're reading it on paper. But once you kind of get into it, you realize that it really is not that big of a deal whatsoever. It's very easily managed. But going back to the interview, it was quick. It was just, it felt very conversational. They kind of dove into, my past. Where do I see myself in the future? Shared a lot about the program. I actually walked away from that interview kind of feeling like I went through a very small therapy session and felt like alive and great and excited to conquer the rest of my day. So the process was easy, seamless, and this last year, like I said, has not been overwhelming and has not taken away time from other things at all. If anything, sometimes I wish I spent more time with her, because I know that the time that we have spent together and the things that we do together have been so impactful in her journey that it actually makes me want to do more sometimes. So hopefully that answers your question, Sarah.
Amazing. Thank you, Carrie. And then Kelly, you wanted to add something, right? Oh, wait a second. Another sign up. Yay! Yay! I know.
I wish we had like a confetti drop. That would be cool.
I know. And I promised I'd tell a dad joke for every sign up that we had. So why don't sharks eat clowns? They taste funny. What do you call a moose with no name? I know. Alan, what do you call a moose with no name?
I don't know.
Not a moose.
That's got to beg the question: where does a moose with a drinking problem? Where would they go to feed the alcoholics? A nona moose.
Okay, there we go. Take it in a different direction there, Farrah. I like it. All right.
I love it.
A pessimist says it can't get any worse. An optimist says, "Oh yes, it can." Woo! All right, get another sign up. I'll tell another joke. I don't know. Carrie's looking at me like, okay, don't tell any more jokes or get good ones. I know that, Carrie. Right? Amazing. Okay, this makes me so happy because you guys put in so much time and effort, right? And we got a few people show up, which is amazing. We got great questions that are flashing up there. Oh my goodness. Right? We got 4 people that have big hearts that have spent a lot of time and effort building the integrity and the development of kids in Phoenix, and that's what we want to duplicate. Can we take a few more questions?
Absolutely. Passion has a question up here. I think it's really good, and also I'd like to get some. I'd like to hear some input from my colleagues on the screen here. But the question was, what are some of the things that I can do with my mentee? So I'll just give some ideas that are supported by New Pathways. So while you will have your own one-to-one outings and relationships, and I'll get everybody else to talk to that, some of the things that you're going to do with your mentee is you're going to bring them once a month to the Power Up session. And that session is always on the first or the third Saturday of every month from 10 to 12. And then there's also a Tuesday evening. I think it's the fourth Tuesday of each month. So that's one thing that you do. And typically after those Power Up sessions, we'll have some kind of college and career readiness workshop that you and your youth might want to stick around for. Or if it's not college and career readiness that's going on right afterwards, we might have some kind of like arts and crafts, some fun stuff. Then we also have once a month a fun outing that is planned and organized by our team. Just recently, all of the mentors and mentees loaded up on a bus and went down to Great Skate to go roller skating. But some of the other things that our community does together might be like group art projects with a local co-op. We've done volunteer projects. We took youth and mentees out to the Animal Welfare League and got to spend time with puppies. And so those are some of the things that you can do through New Pathways. But again, we want you to spend time with your youth independently. So I'm curious, Carrie, what are some of the cool experiences that you and your mentee have had together? Well, it looks like Carrie might be frozen. How about you, Kelly?
Well, I'm here to shout out the public library system of Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale because my mentee and I often would go to the library because number one, it's free. Number two, it's a great place to do homework. And for your mentees who might have challenging home environments where there's not a lot of space and quiet, the public library is like a great go-to spot, and you can bring drinks in. So I'm just saying, like, go to your Starbucks, go get a smoothie, and then go to the library. That was one of our typical activities. I know that Alan has some great activities that he does with Jeremiah. So Alan, what about you?
Yeah, we do all kinds of things, but one of our favorite recently is we box. So he got into boxing because I'm into boxing, and now we go to the gym that I go to, and he's learning how to box, which is going to be, there's a little guy right now. He's a lot taller than that these days, but yeah, we do that, and then he loves coming here to the house and swimming and playing with the dogs, and we have full days for sure.
And guys, that brings up a question that comes up quite a bit in mentor recruitment, which is, yeah, can I bring my mentee to my house? The answer is yes, but, or maybe I should say yes, and, right? I'm the optimist. So the answer is yes, you may, and that can only happen after you've been matched for 3 months. And after your program coordinator has popped by your house to make sure that, you know, it's safe for a young person to be in. So once you've gone through that process, after you've been matched for 3 months, then absolutely listen. We recognize a lot of our mentors have families, right? You've got your spouse, your significant other, you may have your own kids or other people that you're giving care to. And we want our youth to see what happy, healthy relationships look like. So if you want to bring your mentee over for family dinner, that's great. If you want to maybe take your mentee bowling and bring your own kiddos along, that's cool too. Just as long as that's the exception and not the norm, because the point of being a mentor is having that one-to-one relationship. But certainly, absolutely, get your family involved and show what that can look like. We have a lot of, I'll just tell you straight up, my husband, Chris, you know, he doesn't take Marcelino out to go do stuff, but they definitely have a very funny, quirky little relationship that just makes me so happy to see him have that interaction with another adult, you know, that's different than what he is.
Sarah, if I can, I want to chime in on something I've seen in the comments and the questions.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that kept me from becoming a mentor for far too long. Alan Plunkett's the reason I became a mentor, and he was asking me to do it way before I finally said yes. And my number one excuse was, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. And I'm here to tell you, Carrie is a CEO of St. Joseph the Worker. Both Alan and I are entrepreneurs and run businesses in the Valley. We have the time. Sometimes we might convince ourselves, or we might like to tell ourselves a story that we don't have the time. You have the time. I promise you, you have the time for this relationship in your life. And I'm just here to tell you that you can weave in this relationship into your life. I promise you that you can. You might not think you can, but I'm here to tell you it can be done. And it is a huge, valuable source of giving back to the community and giving to yourself. So I think time is the thing I hear about all this the most that people say that keeps them from becoming a mentor. And then one of the questions in the chat box was, how many hours like per month should you expect to give as a mentor? And I know it looks different for everybody. There's Sarah's question. I mean, I would say a minimum, Sarah, is going to be 3 hours, and the max is really up to you. Teens love to text. So a lot of relational dynamics is texting back and forth, checking in, things like that. The power-ups are amazing. And then, you know, going and doing something fun, like going to the library or boxing or going on a hike. I met Carrie's mentee at an event and was so blown away by her, and got to be in a conversation with Carrie's mentee actually at a party, at a social gathering, which was so cool that Carrie brought her, because Carrie wanted to give her more exposure to these sort of networking opportunities and these abilities to connect with more adults. And it was really powerful to meet Carrie's mentee in that environment. So the time is really up to you, but I guarantee you, you have it.
Amazing. And I think that addresses one of the biggest obstacles or that people talk about, and very eloquent. Thank you very much. And that texting thing makes sense, right? Remember, these are people who need somebody strong in their life. They need somebody to text about questions that every young adult has, right? And if there's somebody returning the text like Kelly or Carrie or Farrah or Alan, then they got a shot. And if they don't, right, it's not a good situation. So if you have the 3 hours a month and you want your life to be enriched and you want to do something good for the universe, right, the QR code is right there, right? And if you can't do it because you're geographically unavailable, then just make a donation so that we can continue this strong program. I was just blown away when I heard about New Pathways for Youth, that it started in Phoenix, right? And that it has such a significant impact, right, to an underserved community that is part of our community, right? And we're all responsible for this. So if you have, and I know you all retired guys, right? You got plenty of time where you can ping somebody and you can make a real difference, right? I see you playing golf in the middle of the day and then going out and having a beer at 5 o'clock, right? There's kids that need help, right? That's what we're asking. Just go in. You don't have to take 3 mentees. You could take just 1, right? And then get all your poker buddies to do the same thing, right?
Right.
Because it is really a group activity and it's an important activity. And this program started in Phoenix. We want to make sure that we continue to grow it, right? And any kid that needs a mentor should be able to raise his hand and we should be able to find it. So I don't care if I have to get on a live stream every month or every week or every day. All right. Maybe that's a little excessive, but right. We got to fix this backlog. We got to do it.
That's right. And you said just a minute ago, you said all of you retired guys, and my ear perked up when I heard guys, because this is something that's really important. We need more male mentors. We match men and boys together, and because we usually don't have enough men to match with all the boys, we also match women with boys. Part of the reason why I matched with Marcelino. Looking behind me, our next matching event is going to be in a couple of weeks. We're already full for that one, but we have 20 women signed up, and guess how many men? 5.
Come on, men of Phoenix. Now I'm doubly embarrassed. Number 1,
Yes.
I live in Phoenix and people aren't stepping up. Number 2, I'm a man and men aren't stepping up. No surprise. Women do 90% of the work and get 10% of the credit, right? This is just a perfect example. And we got to change that, right? This is a relatively easy, inexpensive thing that you can step up and be proud of. You can make a dent in the universe. You can do more good for the universe. And the New Pathways for Youth is making it easy to do it. So quit screwing around and start doing something that's friggin' helpful by going, yeah, thanks, Kelly. Point to that thing right up there. Go up there, scan it, and then send it to your brother and tell him he should do that as well, or he's not getting an invite to Easter dinner, or forget Thanksgiving, right? It's off the table unless he becomes a mentor. And it's also something that forms these relationships, right? You guys, when you're talking about going at these community events, right? You get to understand other mentors. You get to understand other mentees, right? I've been hearing about Jeremiah for the last 8 years. I feel like he's my next door neighbor. It's amazing, right? And that's because Alan Plunkett stood up 8 years ago and said, I'm going to make a difference. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my stake in the ground and I'm going to change this kid's life. And then he did, right? And then we just have to duplicate that. How many mentor-mentee relationships are there in New Pathways for Youth?
Oh, gosh. Well, I would say that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of the ones that are matched. We serve about 600 youth, but right now we have about 300 matches, and those matches have been anywhere from 1 year to 4 years. But we also continuously have youth that are graduating. Did you know that we had, I want to say, 40 something graduates for the class of 24? That was huge.
Amazing.
That's a massive impact. Yes.
Amazing. And when you show the people who have graduated from college and gotten into trade schools and have served their country through the military with their mentors, and they're both, the pairs are just smiling, just like Carrie and Kelly and Alan, because, right, it's an opportunity for you to do really good stuff. It's an opportunity for you to step up. It's an opportunity to forge a relationship. What's more important than connecting with a kid who needs help? Right? There's nothing more important, right? It's not, and Kelly was eloquent in explaining about the time commitment, and you could figure it out. New Pathways for Youth had all of these professionals that if you run into a little bit of a scuffle, that they'll be able to explain and help, right? So that we can help kids who need a little help to live quality life. I mean, the impact is incredible, not only to the individual, but to the relationship, also to the community, also to everybody, to humanity, right? So it's a win-win-win-win.
Yes. And we've got about 5 more minutes. So I just want to remind everybody that at 12:15, if you're signed up for this mentor intro session, you'll have time right after this for a quick bio break, and then I'll see you in that Zoom. So if you have signed up, then you should have received an email that has the link for our session that we're going to be having at 12:15. Now, a lot of people also ask, like, how can I help get the word out there? Certainly follow us on our socials, let people in your orbit know. But another thing that I have the privilege to do as the director of mentor recruitment is I get to go out and I get to talk to people about mentoring in their workplace. And so some of our very best mentors come from the professional workspace, right? Because we have these shared values of commitment, relationships, responsibility. And so one of the most impactful things that you can do if you're here on LinkedIn representing your company is reach out and invite me to come out to be a guest speaker. We can do a lunch and learn, or maybe you need like a feel good piece to kick off your annual meeting or all staff. I would be happy to come out and do a little 15-minute razzle dazzle to help to solidify you as a community focused company, and then also to recruit those mentors.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. Right. So you'll go out to actually talk to groups of folks, whether churches or temples or companies or whatever, in an effort to find people, explain a little bit more about the process and see what they can do to help.
Yep. I'm happy to go out. We'll host tours and that sort of thing here. I do a lot of virtual lunch and learns, that sort of thing too. And if you guys aren't able to attend the 12:30 mentor intro session, please go ahead and scan the QR code and select a session that works better for your schedule. We do these mentor intros every single week on Tuesdays at 6:15, so after work. And then we also do them on Fridays at noon during your lunch hour. Great. I see we've got pulled up here. What you don't need to be a mentor? You don't need to have experience like we talked about earlier, working with kids or youth or teenagers. You don't have to have experience working in cultures of poverty. And, I really appreciate what Kelly shared is being part of this program will open your eyes wide open to what that lived experience is. And I thought I was a compassionate person before, but there was so much room for my heart to grow. And that is an amazing experience for anybody.
I love it. All right. How did we do? I think another sign up. Yay!
Josephine!
I know. I'm very excited about this format, right? We didn't know how it was going to go. And we got we want to do something. And so I'm thrilled. If we get 4 people who come in and sign up and just spread the word, right, we're well on our way. And this is just going to be the first, right? Because we owe it to these young adults, right, to have strong people in their life. And then I want to build a little buffer. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, which I sometimes do, right? But if somebody needs help and they raise their hand, we should have somebody that we can match them with. And I didn't realize it was all women, because of course it is. And we got to get the men to step up too, right? They have life experience, and it's important. We have to find men's group in Phoenix that may want to do it kind of as a group and feed them into the mentor recruitment program, right? So we can carry our half of the load, right? And service the need that we have. Amazing.
Dan,
Incredible.
Dan, we want a waiting list of mentors, not of mentees.
Okay, that's very eloquent. And as usual, thank you for stepping up. Kelly, Farah, Carrie, amazing, right? And the whole idea is level up and level up your life, right? And like, no matter what you've done in your life, now is the time for you to take a step forward. And we're making it as easy as possible, right? For you to do something that will change your life, right? Everybody who's ever done this, yeah, Carlos is like, I'm excited to become a mentor. Yay. And like Carlos, we'll interview you in a year. And you, if it's anything like the descriptions that we've heard today, you'll be like, yep, it's everything that those people said, right? Because you're giving of yourself, right? You're forming this relationship. You're learning about what it's like to have new experiences in likely a part of America that you might not be familiar with. And you're helping somebody grow and develop. There's nothing better. If you're a person of the book, right? If you're a person who understands doing the best thing for the universe, if you're a person who just wants to help somebody out, it all falls into that category, right? And super positive program, incredible curriculum, 35 years of experience, right? And now we want to do everything that we can to get as many people as involved, to have the visibility, and to make sure we take care of these young adults.
Dan, thank you so much for connecting us with your audience. And your reach is fantastic. Your enthusiasm and energy is bar none. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for being a longtime supporter of the program as well. And I just want to extend my heartfelt thank you to everybody who joined the live stream, everybody who watches this in the future. We can all make a difference in our community. And right now, all it takes is a little bit of curiosity for you to find out more about the program, to see if it's a good fit for you. So thank you, everybody, for being here.
Boom! Go, Farah, go!
Oh.